Hey everybody, welcome back. Woohoo! It is Saturday here down under in New Zealand and it is sunny outside again. What a summer we are having. Very, very nice indeed. We have a few little break days in between these super sunny days, but man, it is glorious down under. Woohoo! We've got the big giant Pacific Ocean in the road, and of course that's good. That's good. It's good blocker there, the old big Pacific Ocean. If you've ever flown over it, it is ginormous. So pretty awesome. Hope you guys are doing well. What's the other big thing I ever flew over was Canada with the snowy mountains. After another. I think I fell asleep for a while, woke up, and it still looked the same. Mountains after mountains after mountains, and crazy stuff. All right, hope you guys are doing good there. We're going to get into a lot of cool stuff. Richard Hart is ramping up Pulsechain Pumpamentals. He's doing some pretty interesting posts lately. And of course, we've got a very bullish 2025 year ahead of us. It's going to be a lot of fun. So very excited. Now we've got Hexcavator in house here. So folks, good to see Hexcavator. Hope you're doing well. We've got the Hex Girl in the background. You can see pretty badass dystopian futuristic Hex Girl in the background. Big shout out to her. If she was real. But there she is in the background. We got the real big sexy in house there. Hey, Superman. Hope you're all doing good. Hey, everybody. A big shout out. Good to see you in the chat as always. Doing well, man. Now we're going to check out the markets. We're going to cover over, obviously, Pulsechain. We're also going to look at TitanX. Looks like it's starting to pivot, either consolidation or pivot to wave 3 on the Elliott wave model. And so that's looking pretty good ahead of Omnichain launching probably in a week or two. The timing is going to be perfect. Of course, we've got the President Trump inauguration coming up on the 20th. So what's it, about 10 days away? That is hyper bullish for crypto and for the world. We're seeing one victory after victory after victory for Trump. Was it today in the courts? That final court case getting pretty much shot down. Trump there doing a good job. We also see what's the Facebook founder, Zuck, confessing about the Biden administration putting fascist policies on pressure on them. Of course, they're not innocent. We all know that they're full of progressive leftist fascists, but nevertheless, they were still facing major government pressure for silencing our democracy and freedom, which is just crazy, right? We are really in a huge battle. Fortunately, we've had some major wins for freedom and for prosperity. So hopefully we'll just get more and more wins over the next couple of years. All right, and crypto will boom. A perfect environment for crypto. All right, let's get into it. Let us jump over to, let's go over to the stock market, see how that goes. So it looks like the S&P 500 fell a bit as strong payrolls tee up a prolonged Fed pause. In other words, not expecting really any many interest rate cuts. March is the first one, potentially maybe 2 rate cuts in the year at this stage. I mean, things can change, and that's kind of where we are. So S&P 500, the Dow Jones there down 1.66%, 700 points to 41,927. It's got most of the industrials in it, the top 30 industrials. S&P 500 is down 1.5%, 92 points down to 5,826. And the NASDAQ with all the tech companies in it is down 1.6%, 318 points to 19,160. So a bit of a red week there, red day to finish off the week in the United States on Friday results. US dollar is gaining strength. Look at that, 109.47. That is unbelievable. And it's got to be the Trump effect amongst other things. So really, really crazy US dollar index going up like that. That's kept a cap on silver, but silver is rising anyway. It's rising 1% to 30 cents to $31.30. But if we had seen that interest rate pivot, devalue the US dollar, we probably would have see silver probably rally to those big targets that Kiyosaki is looking at. Rich dad, poor dad, $75 to $125 targets, but not at the stage. But it's still going up. Gold up 1%, $24 to 2,715. So those two metals, they're getting a bit of a love. And of course, the West Texas, which had been pushed down on the oil prices, up $2.60, $2.90 there for West Texas, $76 for West Texas, and almost just under $80 for Brent oil there, both up about 3.5%. So a bit of move on oil there. So that's pretty much it on there. So non-farm payrolls, they surprised to the upside, stoking fears of prolonged Fed pause. the US economy unexpectedly added more jobs in December versus the prior month. Now we'll see what revisions do to this later on. According to the monthly report, they could factor into how the Federal Reserve approaches possible rate cuts. And of course, because they've been trading off, when they're rising interest rates, they trade off, inflation for, or employment for inflation. So it's kind of the idea. Now it's the opposite, right? Non-farm payrolls there increased by 250,000 jobs last month, which is a really great result. After rising by a downwardly revised 12,000 jobs in November, Labor Department's Bureau of Statistics said had forecast an uptick of 164,000. So, I mean, you got about 90,000 or so more than expectations. Unemployment rate fell to 4.1%, below November's pace of 4.2%. Fed officials were pushed to commit to a rate cut. A decision for January and a rate cut decision for January and March meetings today. They would almost certainly be looking to keep rates steady, but we may get one in March. Let's see how we get on there. Following the jobs report, the odds of the Fed keeping rates unchanged at its meeting in January jumped to 98%. So we're expecting no change in January, and the next cut will now be expected in June or July. So while previously we had seen March, right, from the market. So it looks like they may be deferring off there. We've also got Q4 is earnings season kicks off next week. So while we had a red week on the stock market this week, we might get a green week next week, and then we've got the Trump inauguration. So we could have a double whammy. This is looking very good for crypto altcoin season. Should that both occur, and I think it's a good chance, right? Good chance of that. So let's be pretty optimistic around that. All right, so that's kind of where we are at the moment. Let's jump over to the cryptos. What happened there? I lost my page. I lost my page on the crypto there. Must have spun out of control. So green. Do you like that? Stock market red, but green for crypto. And if stock market goes green next week, maybe that helps fuel the fire as well for crypto. So we've got Bitcoin there, $94,800, up 2.27%. We've pretty much, I've been on the view that we're on a bear trap, right? And we've got the altcoin seasons just around the corner. No change to that. So far, held pretty steady to that. You can ask in Discord. But 94,800, up 2.28%. Bitcoin dominance of 55. Remember, when altcoin season started in last season, like 2021, for example, it got up to close, I think just under at least 70% on dominance. So we're not going to see that this time. The market has structurally changed, right? We used to have, maybe tens of thousands of cryptos. Now we have millions, right? Things are very different now. We have more mature technology as well, including particularly bridges, and DEXs as well. So things have changed a lot since then. And of course, we have pretty sophisticated institutionalized investing now into crypto. And of course, we're on the doorstep of some major sovereign state potentiality for sovereign state money as well. We already see a lot of that from Latin America and other places, but it's going to be pretty interesting to see the US drive that. Ethereum there at the moment is at $3,270, 1.2%. We've got everything pretty much green. BNB up, let's say 0.75%, $693. Solana up almost 1% at $187. Now, ADA, of course, that Hodgkinson's been having a bit of a tit for tat with the old Pulsechain community. I think that he's not really being reasonable. He pretends he is, but I think he's definitely on a chat that he had. I think a podcast thing. He really does misrepresent the Richard Hart court case and stuff like that. So he's out on a bit of a warpath. He's going to block any Pulse Connects out there. In this chat there. He's all for freedom, isn't he? There's a problem with these guys. That's why DeFi is really the true freedom. And so these centralized guys operate. Not that free, are they? So anyway, 93 cents there at the moment. We hope that he turns his views around back to good old crypto views. We've got Tron there is up 1.7% at 24 cents. It's kind of the majors there, and XRP up 2.2% at $2.34. That's kind of where we are at the moment. So kind of cool. We're seeing BCH actually doing a bit of a move as well. Can't actually see the BCH one, but let's see if we can click on that. No, it's not clicking. All right, so let's go to the Bitcoin. Bitcoin at the moment is just riding above the 50-day moving average in yellow. Woohoo! Pretty bullish. So this is our bear trappy kind of phase here. We didn't get quite the rush, but hey, look, it is the holiday period still. We're just coming out of that now, right? So, next couple of days, probably, 11th, so 12th, 13th, definitely by the 13th. So next week, you got to say it's got to be looking hyper bullish, right? Next week, looking hyper bullish. Beginning of an altcoin season phase. Obviously, it all doesn't just happen in a week, but we're going to get some of that first bigger bit of magic. I'm feeling pretty positive about it because we're coming up to the Trump inauguration. This is as good as it gets. We've got the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs out there. We've got the Trump inauguration pro-crypto president. Potentially, we've got change in the SEC guard. Probably will take place by maybe March or April. After you got to get these positions filled in the administration and things like that. So it's kind of cool. They do control the House and of course the Senate. So it should make things a lot easier in terms of getting appointments into power. So we should have a pretty dream run. Hopefully we won't have much shenanigans coming from some of the uni-party Republicans. But we will see. We'll see how that plays out. We know the Dems are going to do their best, right? Their best. But anyway, 10 days to go. Looking super bullish. Let's see how this goes for the next move higher, right? So kind of cool. Let's see what our chart is. Still holding on to our projections here for March, April here, 150 to 180k. So keep a lookout for that. We hit the target here for the 90 to 100k. In fact, we got a high of 108,000 back here on the 17th of December. Still feeling very good for that. You guys know, if you've been through bull markets before, it happens very, very quickly, doesn't it? Just like back here, see that was very, very quick. In fact, how big was that? That was massive. So back here on the 5th of November, we went through all the way through to the 11th. So from the 5th to 11th of November, we had climbed 22,000 US dollars on Bitcoin alone, up a 33%. So that gives you an idea of how quickly it could all happen, right? And so let's take the mark here at 100k. And you're talking about another 33%. That takes us to 135. We got plenty of time to ramp up over the months ahead. So things can happen very fast, folks. And of course, the altcoin season, the glorious altcoin season that everyone's hunting, where we just have day after day of mad gains, is in front of us, and maybe not so far away. As this is laid out for the bull market cycle, right? 830, 870 days. So we're ticking away so far. But I do think this is going to be a hyper bullish year and potentially could even go into 2026. Yeah, this is the first time I've said that, but I have said that in Discord. But 2025, very confident about that with this Trump administration. And hopefully, just like in the first Trump period, no wars. Hopefully that will also happen in this 4-year period. And of course, that is perfect for commercial. So exciting where that's going to go. We're seeing a lot of death in the Marxist ideas of DEI and control. We've got the last throws and thrashings of these progressive fascists, basically what they are. The last ones left, in France, particularly, there's a few in Germany, and particularly in the UK with Starmer, fascist President Starmer there, Prime Minister Starmer. So there's still a few left. Looks like Trudeau may go. He's going to try and hold on to power for several months because they're playing games with that. So we're getting there. Yeah, let's see how we go. We're going to get rid of these guys hopefully and move into an era of peace and common sense. All right, so let's jump away from that. That is Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Bitcoin returns chart at the moment. Arnie says no war sounds good. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, look, who wants to send their children to these stupid wars, right? Nobody does. And nobody wants other people's kids dying unnecessarily as well, right? So if you're in another country, no one wants that either. We got January up 1.8% so far on the old Bitcoin monthly returns. That's for 25. And we've got February, March ahead of us. Obviously, we've had last year we had 43% and 16%. So I talked about even getting 33% in January. Well, look, we had 43% in February alone last year. It happens pretty fast there. And we also, obviously, the November we just had was pretty amazing. So that's kind of the play there. Yeah, and we've had that, 2021, we had 36%, 29% in February, March. So, and of course, February is one of our two most greenest months, right? So February is very, very green. You could add that with October, right? And November is not too bad either. And so I feel very confident about the February run. And of course, we've got Trump coming. Ethereum lagging a little bit, but when it catches up, when Ethereum catches up, going to do some big rally. What's the price there? Price target 10 on the low side. probably 25 on the high side is where we might see Ethereum go. So 10 on the low side is a big range, but that's because it's a risky asset relative to Bitcoin. But it is still controlling a lot of the smart contracts. And really, even though Solana and other chains have eaten its lunch a little bit, Pulsechain, of course, as well, because Pulsechain is top 6 chain now and decentralized decentralized exchanges. It's still got that huge upside when you've got ETFs and cash really just ultimately decides what's getting valued. So at the moment, $3,268. We've bounced off a 3,161. We are below the 50-day moving average in yellow. That's currently at 3,429. The 200-day moving average at 3,100. We're sitting right in the middle of those two. We've still got a golden ratio playing out, golden cross playing out there. So I meant to say, and so expect some massive re-rate on here. In the weeks ahead, possibly starting for next week is for sure. I said possibly and for sure in the same sense, but you get my point. All right, we got Richard Hart. Now we're going to move the Pulsechain because Pulsechain is no war sounds good. All your money says yeah, that's true. We got Richard Hart has been pumping up. That's the title of the video. Richard Hart ramps up Pulsechain Pumpamentals. What do I mean by that? Well, Richard Hart's posting some very interesting posts lately and pretty crazy. So he's put this out about Pulsechain is now active across Morales. Very good for the developers on Pulsechain, particularly around RPCs and things like that. So kind of cool. He's also been posting, this is the last couple of days. He also been posting around this, and here posted out, there's magic in making one less car than the market wants. The most expensive cars in the world are the most rare. Coins can learn from this. No new PulseX can ever be minted. So PulseX, of course, being the token for the PulseX DEX on Pulsechain. Every single day, more PulseX is burned forever. Some other coins have mechanics which can reduce inflation or increase burning. Ethereum has EIP 1559, for instance. Pulsechain has that and 25% less base inflation per block to start with. Hex has a time locking, and of course, nobody likes inflation except perhaps those minting it for themselves. Food for thought: when things are tied to other things, and this is really a big message of his. When things are tied to other things, if the other things become more rare, for example, like PulseX there, Hart's Law, right? Hart's Law is in play. So yummy, more food for thought. Increasing demand can go farther than reducing supply. And I've been big on this, right? I've been big on this, particularly around the vault design that we're seeing with Stevie D, the mad scientist, pushing DeFi 3.0 frontier. We're going to talk a little bit about that later on. But why not both? They compound each other. Higher price, more volume, more burn, better chart, more demand, again and again. How do you think cryptocurrency got to trillions of dollars in market? Four of the five of those last things. So that was from Richard there. Kind of a bullish post. I like this sort of talk. So very, very excited. Now he's also talked about his credentials, of course. He raised $27 million for medical research to try and save your life. Vitalik gave millions to the same charity. I wrote free self-help books to try and save your life. So I fixed the world. I founded a project that went up 1,000,000% in price with perfect flawless operation for 5 years now. It was free for Bitcoin holders. So obviously talking about Hex then. I founded a blockchain which was operated flawlessly since launch. Talking about Pulsechain, of course. There's millions of dollars of free coins on it for holders of coins on Ethereum. And of course, that snapshot was the 10th of May last year. I called the Bitcoin price the top accurately a couple of cycles. I installed bidets for my mum. Bidets there for my mum, and showed you how. And we watched that video, funnily enough, the other day, didn't we? I grew up poor and have been working my whole life to make the world a better place. The people that insult me and lie about me have done none of things for you, none of these things for you or for themselves. They defame me, cheer on attacks against me, but they know nothing about me because they don't want to know. They feel that the more people know about me, the better things I founded will do, and the worst things they founded will do. Obviously, we've had Hodgkinson, conflict the last couple of days online. Their defamation is targeted and purposeful. The haters feel there's profit for them in lying to you. If writing self-help books, publishing self-help videos, raising tens of millions of medical research, and creating flawlessly functioning free things with hundreds of thousands of users can't get good words said about you, what's left? What's more can I do? win and keep winning. And I love this. Of course, this is a very Trumpian. And of course, really Richard Hart's kind of like the Trump of crypto. He's the wild boy there, but trying to do good for everybody. All the defamation and censorship hasn't stopped me and won't stop me. And I love this defiance. It's very Trumpian, of course. I will make this world a better place no matter what it takes. I owe it to my ancestors. I owe it to future generations. I owe it to myself. We're blessed with a wonderful opportunity. We stand on the back of giants. We need only harness the power we've been given. Our path is true and honest, and our goals are noble. Perhaps our path is more difficult because our calling is high. I like that. That's pretty cool from Richard. So yeah, really, Richard Hart ramping up the Pulsechain Pumpamentals. And of course, I really like this one from 8 hours ago. This will be the final one I read out here. I don't think people realize that Pulsechain is one of the highest volume chains in the world. And we did actually point that out 2 days ago on the channel for decentralized exchange volume, which is fantastic. And we've seen that change radically, right? We'll change radically. I'll talk more about that when we go up to the market update. Today, it's top 5 on the best stats sites that I find. And of course, it's funny when other founders try to make fun of the chain beating them, or sad is true. And of course, we know Hodgkinson there again with ADA. It's probably the reference there. Oh, and Pulsechain has millions of dollars of free coins waiting for Ethereum users. Perhaps go check your address and see if you have free coins waiting for you. Oh, and the volume actually benefits some holders, not just market makers, because of the buy and burn function people run. So there we go. It's Pulsechain, PulseX, Incentive X, and they're just built better measurably. So I love that. Richard Hart is still pushing that. And of course, what else could it mean for the chain this year? The magic carpet ride, the MakerDAO theory. I mean, there's lots of potential on the old Pulsechain as well as all the current fundamentals. So very, very excited about this ramp up. This is the fact that he is commenting so much on the Pulsechain ramp up. This is very, very bullish. Of course, we're expecting something around the judgment in New York with the SEC. And so far, I think it's fair to say we have a very much a 75% plus chance of winning that. And so we're going to interesting to see how that goes coming up. And of course, the impact that it has on market psychology, because obviously Pulsechain itself is running it by itself, decentralized. So that's going to be interesting. All right, so let's get into the market updates. We've got day 609. We've got Utah Crypto in the house there. Hey, Utah Crypto, big shout out there. One of the developing teams in the old TitanX community, smashing it out of the park there. Big shout out. We're going to talk about TitanX in the second half of the show, so stay tuned for that. We've got day 609. We've got Pulse at the moment, quadruple 0.46, up 2.3%, 46% of the mean sacrifice price. So there is tons of potential upside for Pulsechain. We are still very much discounted for the mean sacrifice price there. PulseX, quadruple 0.288, up 5.6%. And we've got the buy and burn, which Richard Hart was talking about, at $1.189 trillion. And that is currently around $34 million equivalent. But probably more importantly, is 5.95% of the total public supply of PulseX there. Very, very excited. And incentive tokens. Hey, I mentioned the Magic Cup Ride and the MakerDAO theory, but we've also got the OAs out there, right? The Genesis wallets and the OAs. Who knows what you could make quite a few moves with some of those. So we'll see what happens there. I'm excited to see that. We've got incentive token there, $1.66, up 7.5%. So incentive making a bit of a comeback. We're at 36,200 pulse per one incentive. That's definitely lifted. So that's kind of cool to see. We've got well over 52 million in supply. I don't think this has been updated, this supply, for a while, but we'll see. Hex at the moment on discount. So if you want to get that sweet, juicy Hex, the one that went up 1,000,000% last market cycle, it is only 1.23 cents at the moment on Pulsechain. And of course, that is the new one. But we've got the old Genesis Hex, EHEX there at quarter of a penny. And of course, the combined price EX and PX just below 1.5 cents. So there we go. And PX down 3.8%. So nice little pickup there on Hex. I mean, it's just sort of a gift in the hand, really. As a loss leader, they call it loss leader. That is pretty much it. We've got day 209. Let's have a look at the gas prices. Gas prices have been elevated on Pulsechain lately. Look at that. We've got 4.1 million beats at the moment. Crazy. 7 cents for a PulseX swap at the moment. So, hey, look, when a chain's got more volume going through it, more activity, you're going to pay higher prices. That's pretty much it. So whatever's driving that at the moment, but it has been relatively elevated is the play there. Fork way on Ethereum, and Pulsechain is 69 times cheaper than Ethereum. And normally it's in the hundreds and thousands, but today 69. So there we go. Does that make it more valuable? Does that make it undervalued from that point of view? At least contemporaneously it does. Let's have a look at the validators. 44,432 active validators on Pulsechain, full DeFi chain. And the bridge, 120 million. So we definitely come down here a bit on the bridge. I see that the DAI there's dropped us a little bit there. We're at 33.9. I think we were just over 34 the other day. ETH is back on the ascendancy, and Bitcoin is back on the ascendancy. I'm not sure about the total amount of volume, but that is the play. Coast is pretty similar, 7.4 million. And EHEX, of course, is down at a quarter of a penny, so that's down a bit soft. So keep a lookout for that. So 120 on the lower side. We have been, up 150, 160, maybe a few weeks ago when we were rallying, but that's kind of where we are at the moment. Still well above 100K. So keep a lookout for that. We're going to see that number change a lot, I think, in 2025. So very important health check there. Let's jump over to the total markets. 13 million in 24-hour volume on Pulsechain. 263,000 transactions last 24 hours. Now we're looking at the trending 6-hourly mark here, which tends to be what DexScreener uses. And we can see the dominance token there. It's only been around for 17 hours. Now, I'm not endorsing any of these, of course, they just pop up. New tokens pop up all the time. But it is up 336%. Has 190K liquidity in it and has a lot of transactions. But once again, you can't vouch for the safety of any token. Take care out there. Do your due diligence. As always, don't FOMO, rush in, because you lose your DGN balance. We got the Finvestor there, up 67%. Heartwood Dog. That's pretty funny. Heartwood Dog, that's been around for 3 months. That is up 41% at the moment. We've got X there, is up 17%. PDDC, okay, so one of the top performing projects on Pulsechain, is up 12.5%, making a comeback, is it? Let's have a look at the chart. Yep, making a comeback today. So seems to have bounced off 000,300, or let's say 000,3000, now at 000,3362. Nice little comeback there. Is it back onto another parabolic? Because you can see the parabolics there just warming up. Let's see if it can do 10 parabolics during the bull market, like Hex did. We got 9mm there. Our third biggest decentralized exchange has been making a bit of a comeback at 6.4 cents. Is up 10%. Let's have a quick look at that. 9mm. Now, I think it's the only one with the V3. I think there's two with the V3, if I remember rightly, but I think this is the main one. And of course, we're going to talk about this when we get to TitanX, so stay tuned for that. There's some going to be fun alpha talk. And we've got 6.4 cents at the moment. We've got a bit of a cup forming here. We're going to get a bit of a handle, but definitely that's looking a better chart, isn't it, for 9mm? Pretty crazy, right? Pretty crazy. We'll check out the volume for that in a minute. The other one above 10% is Axis Alive. It was below 10,000, now back at 11,400. So Axis Alive making a nice little move there at 10%. And only at number 15 is Pulsechain and Incentive. So these are Richard Hart coins making a bit of a move. And interesting enough, Jacob's project Pulsepot is also not doing too bad at $1.36, up 7%. So those are some of our honorable mentions. And of course, we're going to look at the total ranking on DexScreener. Looks like we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at the moment. But that does move around. Last night I looked, we were at 6. So we're at number 7 there on the DexScreener ranking for blockchain, which is a lot better than we were a little while back. So kind of cool. That is that. Let's jump over to a few other things I want to talk about. PDAI. PDAI at the moment, 1.78 cents. It is down 12% for the week, but up 4.5% for the last 24 hours. PDAI there, the maker theory. What's going to happen there? Get shill. We should see. Now, keep in mind the PDAI, because we're going to talk about this with TitanX. Yeah, I know, but we're going to talk about it. So just remember PDAI that I'm pointing it out there. Let's have a look at a few of the others that are tinkering away there. I see that Atropa is down 18%. So if you guys, anyone knows James Maria, apparently the genius mathematician, one there, Atropa there. He's doing some magical things at the moment on the chain. That is down 20% though at the moment. What else is interesting? Let's have a look. Solid X, $14.92. Is that a steal at the moment? Because we all know Firewhale there. What does some say is the biggest whale on Pulsechain, and of course, a very good friend of Randy Halasky's. He is looking there. We know that Eric is doing something here as well. Eric's all over Pulsechain. You can't get rid of Eric. He's not only is he dominating over on TitanX, but is also coming over to take over Pulsechain as well. Is Eric doing the ultimate I was going to make silly jokes, but is he doing some crazy stuff? Because we're going to talk about that. Eric is from DragonX, is doing some pretty incredible things. So we're going to talk about that. That is probably a big theme today. We got 9mm, of course. We'll talk about that. Now, I wanted to see where we get down to Maker. I can't remember where Maker is here. Probably won't be able to find it. Typical, when you're on live stream. I probably bypassed it already, to be frank. Yeah, Maker's up there as well. We're going to come back to that and probably talk about PDI again next week. Let's talk about that. All right, so that's pretty much that. But hey, look, I want to talk about Mafia. You guys want to talk about Mafia? Yeah, Mafia. Mafia for the gangsters out there. Pulsechain in the house there, shilling his coins. Hey, no shilling, man. No shilling. Please, please, please. All right, so we got Pulse Mafia. If you guys haven't been enjoying this, it's great. Get out. If you love gaming, you love making crypto, then get on this. It is a phased launch, so we've just had the map. Everyone's after land. Most of the land's sold out on Pulsechain. There's only one map left, and but there's plenty of land on BNB side. But what got launched today? I'm going to show you. So normally when you make a building, right? So you make a building. Here'll be a building here. That's a hotel that Nakamoto owns there in the syndicate. This is here on Chicago. But typically when you're on a building, you have all these buttons: transfer, list items, upgrade, stake Mafia, withdraw. But the problem is you go on an individual map, you've got one, you're looking at one building, right? But now they've just come out with this. Isn't it cool? Come out with the management tab. Ooh. Management tab come out. Looks good too. I'm actually really happy with the way it looks. They've done a good job with the UI. They got the total buildings that you have. They've got the city ranking, where you are in the city. So are you ranked number one? Number one gets special defense rights and powers and stuff like that. But if you get ranked like number 10, number 12, it will show you here in the city that you're in. Estimated worth, how much is that actually worth? And of course, I think that's in US dollars, if I remember rightly. And accumulated yield, how much in-game currency you will get. And we just saw recently the exchange items for in-game assets to in-game currency has been reduced. In fact, was it 40% or something? It seems to be pretty serious anyway, maybe even 50%. It's gone down, maybe 40% seems like to me, but it's gone down a lot. And yeah, pretty crazy. But here's the cool thing about this. You will have all your properties listed here. So you can manage them all at once in one tab. I think that's a really good move, and it makes a lot of sense for a game like this. So you can have title ID, name, rarity, yield, status, staking, whether you got staking. Staking is important to activate the building, right? So, and the defense points, the amount of defense you have, and actions you can make, which is basically a nice summary of the individual actions you can do. So really, really cool to see that. And of course, the other thing that they have, which I can't show you on here, is they have a little animation, arrow animation that says you can accumulate, claim your yield, which is cool. One button to claim them all, one ring to rule them all, as it were, on the game. So nice big upgrade today on the old Mafia. Had to mention that, and it's on Pulsechain and BNB. So this game is moving forward very nicely with that update. So big shout out there to Jacob and his development team. And talking about Mafia, I will be on Cult DeFi show, I think on Monday, which would be Sunday US time. And of course, we're going to be on with many of the other families in the Mafia there. So the Gearheads, I think, and some of these other families like the Deadites or something. So we've got lots of different families representatives are going to be on there for a fun little chat about the map. And at the moment, you can see the maps. Maps are playing around here. Yeah, there's only one map left, Messina, with 358 land tiles over there. So a good place to go and get some fresh land. Otherwise, you have to buy them on the secondary market, right? That's the primary market. But once they're all sold, they go to the secondary market, and you can buy and sell on the secondary market. You can see some here. Click on one of them, you're going to get all of them, right? Pop up. And there they all are there. Look, see? You can go buy them on there, secondary market. That is pretty much it. All right, so I think that's it for Pulsechain, but we're going to talk a little bit more about Pulsechain. Why? Because TitanX is coming. It seems, at least it could be. No, it's coming. Let's bring that up. We've got anyone in comments here? Get in the comments if you got any comments as well. But let's bring up the old TitanX conversation. As you guys know, TitanX has been in a big down wave too on the Elliott model. There's wave one. Wave one was beautiful and glorious. Wave one went for pretty much around the 3rd of August all the way up until about the 21st of October. That was 79 days. So let's just say 80 days around the world. and it made a pretty much a 9.4x gain on TitanX. Now, TitanX is the medium of exchange for the TitanX ecosystem. Of course, now there's X28 as well, which is pretty much a Omnichain vision of that, and that's exciting. And as you can see in the title video, we are going Omnichain potentially within a week or two. So excited about that. And base chain is the first targeted chain for Omnichain. And that means that TitanX is only going to exist in supply on the Ethereum, but with Omnichain, it means that it's going to be able to rebridge some of that supply over. So you're not duplicating TitanX. You're just going to be copying over X28, which is one-to-one with TitanX, over into the other chains. So very bullish for TitanX, basically. The other thing that is going to be very key about Omnichains is the arbitraging cross-chain, which is done through layer 0. There's already that, and that's going to be fun to see that burn off TitanX X28. So game afoot is going to be pretty awesome. And of course, you got the X28 dynamics of burning 50% of the TitanX, and with the buy and burn for X28. So you're going to have multiple mechanisms operating, including all the LPs for new projects on base chain and other chains as they come. This is going to be exciting. And of course, moving into altcoin season, even more exciting. So you can see this is really the frontier DeFi 3.0 happening in the front of our eyes, and that's why I cover it so much, because it's going to be fun to see it play out. All right, at the moment, this is where we are on that one. So now we have been obviously in wave 2. So wave 2 has seen a significant retrace from there. We have managed to bounce off twice, 6 zeros, 3,900. We've bounced off there twice. We're currently at 6 zeros, 4,600. So we were down, let's say we were down about 76%. And of course, that was pretty much over 70 days. We're now down 71%. We're sitting at 6 zeros, 4,650. But of course, we got Omnichain potentially coming next couple of weeks, plus a couple other really major developments in the ecosystem for TitanX. So is the bottom in? That's the question. Well, we still need a bit more confirmation here. It's certainly looking more like a sideways channel at the moment, but we do have a slightly higher low at 42.50. So we'll wait and see. We still need a bit of data there, but we are coming into some major launches coming in for TitanX. That is where we are at the moment. Let's add in our overlays for projections. As you guys know, the time's always an illusory thing, but using a Fibonacci extension combined with retracements, as well as the idea of an Elliott model, we have got a projection of 5 zeros, 2,600, which would be a pretty nice gain from here. Time frame always uncertain, but we do have lots of bullish things taking us up there, and that would be a 5.7x from here using this modeling. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. Then, of course, a wave 4 and then a wave 5. So if that does play out anything similar, that's kind of giving us one model way of doing that, trying to predict the future. Time, though, the length of these moves, always difficult to tell, but that's kind of where we are at the moment. You can already see we've already moved past this and dragged down there a little bit. So whether we catch up is another question. Maybe that would be pushed out a bit further rather than 50 days, pushed out a bit further there. So we shall see. But we do have lots of bullish stuff. We're going to talk about that now. So that's TitanX. Let's have a look at some of the other charts. Looking at the top movers, we have moved green. So even though we were in very much a red down channel 2, we're looking for this bullish wave 3. And we are seeing the market starting to move green. Now, they've got to keep that up for more than 2-3 days, right? We need to start to get 5-7 day moves. And of course, moving into next week could very well do that. With a bullish, reporting season on the stock market, bullish crypto move on the expectations of the Trump inauguration in 10 days, things like that. That's what we're looking forward to. Matrix at the moment up 36%. We've got Eden, that's from Mike Dean, of course. Eden up 35%. Turbo up 35%. Helios up 29%. Hyper up 22%. Stacks up 21% there. Blaze up 18.3%. Godex up 17%. Shogun from Jake Sharp, the man himself, the TitanX founder, is up 15%. And of course, on the X28 pair, which is the biggest LP, it is 3300th of a penny. So I suspect we're going to get a big move on that. Now, Shogun itself is, we're going to talk about that now, actually. Let's talk about it now. Let's go to the chart, actually. Let's have a quick look at Shogun. It's obviously relatively new. Obviously, got the perpetual auction starting. It has bounced off quarter of a penny. It is now up at a third of a penny. So it is rising. Got a higher low there. Obviously, got to beat out a higher high. So got to beat 4/10 of a penny for that. That's something to be asked in the future. But in any case, Jake Sharp has been doing some adjustments here, and we can see that the Shogun stats page got upgraded today. And so we're going to talk about that. And of course, let's have a look at what that looks like. So we've now got circulating supply, 2.4 million. 2.4 billion, I should say. Remember, the total supply is 2.8. And so if we add the burn at the moment, 350. In fact, let's refresh that for live show. 350. You can see that this doesn't add up to 2.8, right? So if you add them together, it's going to be slightly lower, and that's because of unclaimed, right? Unclaimed. So hopefully Jake will put unclaimed on here. Unclaimed's not a lot. Let's be frank. So let's say 2,800. Let's just do some simple roundings. Let's minus off 2,425 circulating, 2,425, and then it's minus off that burn 350, minus 350, and that would give us around about 25 plus or minus a couple hundred thousand, 25 million tokens seem to be unclaimed at this stage. So that's kind of where we are, which is not a lot, right? It's not a lot. Some of it may never get claimed. Who knows what's happened to the people that did it, right? You think they would already minted it, right? So there we are. That is pretty much it. But man, we have hit 350 million Shogun already burned, right? Remember, Shogun's only been around for 1 month, 13 days there. So not long, right? So this is very exciting developments here. So 41 days says on here. And of course, we can see that the burn is at 350. 12.63% is the total burned. Pretty exciting. Now, of that 2.4 billion, we can see that just under 1.8 billion is liquid. We've got 340 million in the LP pools, and that gets fattened up all the time, right, through taxes. Remember, there's an 8% buy, sell, and transfer tax on the system, and that's targeting primarily the bots and any trades, right? And it feeds the whole system, in addition to the war chest, which is part of what we call Stevie D's mad contribution so far to TitanX, although he's about to ramp it up with Bitcoin Genie. So we're looking forward to the Stevie D's next big move, and moving towards demand side pushing rather than supply side, particularly is exciting for me. And of course, you got to have more buys and sells, right? For price go up over time. And of course, the other thing is attracting more attention that way. So looking forward to that. Anyway, 290 million in the Shogun war chest. That makes up the total of 2.4 billion circulating. Very excited. We can see the buy and burn, 296.7 million is through the buy and burn, and the war tax that I just mentioned earlier, that 8% has got 53.8 million. And remember, war tax also feeds the war chest, right? So doesn't all just go there. So exciting times. Auction at the moment, 100% gain. Still 5 hours and 20 minutes to go. 77 billion in there. That's going very well. It's operating very, very well indeed. And of course, it's paired with X28 primarily and TitanX. But X28, what's going to happen there with the Omnichain? How will that affect Shogun over time? We're going to watch that play out, because we know there's only 1.3% of X28 is liquid. That's not doing anything at the moment. But what will it mean when we go Omnichain and get other protocols launching on top of it and things like that, and burning more TitanX? Will it have a magnitude effect? We shall see. Question mark on that. Arbitraging is probably a big key between X28 and TitanX, but of course we only see a 1.01 ratio. That's not going to be enough to do that yet. But let's see how it goes. Liquidity fattens up. We open up that ratio difference between TitanX and X28. With all these forces that are going with Omnichain and Ethereum itself, we could see some things move there in the right direction for adding more value. All right, so yeah, Shogun doing well at the moment. All right, so that's kind of the play there. Let's jump over to some of the rest of the markets at the moment. So we talked about that. Volt is the other one. Volt, of course, is looking very exciting. So Volt having a nice move after the big mega wow. I can talk about Volt for quite a bit. Shall we? Shall we talk about it? I don't know. People in the chat there, get lively. All right, so Volt at the moment. Volt is made a nice little rebound. Because it had 1 mega wow, what do you call it? Poseidon? I don't know, whatever. It was mega. It was a Kraken. Yeah, it was pretty much a Kraken, wasn't it? A Kraken, and it had some silly amount of tokens. I mean, it was a horrendous amount of tokens. something like 100 million tokens, something like that. There's only 600 or so. Let's have a look at Vault. So Vault at the moment is burning really, really nicely, about 2 to 2.1 million tokens a day. Yeah, it's crazy good, crazy good. That's like burning wallet number 43 every day. Every day it's burning like a wallet that's around number 43 every day. It's crazy good. So at the moment, we're at 40.53%. We only hit 40% like 2 days ago. We're already another 0.5%. So it's going absolutely gore guns. And you got to remember, it's burning an absolute number, but the total base supply is going down, so the percentage is rising. It's pretty crazy. We're at 624.4 million Vault now. What a perfect time to get into Vault. AMG, do your due diligence, not financial advice, but man, pretty crazy. The auction's already down at 4%, and it's got 14 hours to go. Crazy. So yeah, going pretty cool. The buy and burn ticking away as well. It's doing some cool volume, $21 million in volume almost. And look at Vault at the moment. Vault volume, 67K on this particular pair. So yeah, it's a pretty crazy contribution. Obviously, if you get market buying as well, then you've got market go up, right? Market go, more buying than selling, market go up. So it's kind of cool. And if you get TitanX pivoting as well, man, game on, right? Game on. But the fundamentals are looking very good here. RSI, plenty of room in the RSI on the daily. Man, this thing could hyper rally, get back to its glory day. Where it wowed the TitanX community, as let alone the Ethereum community as well, back on the 20th of October there. Keep a lookout for this. So what's the bullishness there? That is so exciting. Big burns happening every day. Auctions getting sold out. It is exciting times. And of course, we know that the big whales. Let's have a look at the whales there. You can see the volume. The volume in there was popped up to about 350K in volume. Typically, had been doing around about 100K, let's say, plus or minus. But yeah, had that big wick down. We got all the way down to 29 of a penny. Pretty dismal if you got up the top here, right? If you got up at 7 cents, you'd be pretty nervous about that. And of course, you've got this downtrend you're writing down. So you're seeing your portfolio get smashed. But hey, look, it's about to turn around. This is looking very good indeed. A very good chance that this candle here on the 9th was the low, because there really are not a lot of whales left. In fact, there's none. There's some sharks. There's sharks. I don't see any real whales. And so if we take out like system type of wallets at the top, really the one that I see here is I got 12 million. We've got 11.7 million there. We've got 8 million here, 8 million. Now, I said to you, the protocol's burning 2 million a day. So that's 4 days. 4 days to get rid of whale number 8. 4 days to get rid of whale number 9. That's assuming they sell, right? Assuming they sell. 5 days, 6 days to get rid of whale 7 and the top whale. You're talking about what, 6 days? 6 days to get rid of whale number 6. In other words, to pay them, to recover from there. So pretty crazy. And of course, the lower the price, typically, the more that you're going to, burn off, particularly if TitanX goes up, right? Versus Vault. So yeah, and that's just for a blip in time. Then you've got all these other ones. So really, not really. The whales are pretty much dead. I mean, there's a couple here. If you're talking about whales over 1%, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. And so game on, right? Game on. Very cool. I believe this one here is a system wallet, and the rest of them are all LPs. So there we go. That is pretty much it. To get on page 1 now, you need 1.7. That makes you a quarter of a shark to get there. And so yeah, pretty crazy there on these numbers. In fact, page 2 gets you down. What do you need to get page 2? 850,000. This is a really great opportunity. How many wallets are there? 2,255. A lot of them will have relatively small amounts of Vault. But man, this is going to be fun. Still burning 2 million a day. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. So, and what else? Yeah, there's more. Sorry, there's more. So, Stevie D, the mad scientist, pushing DeFi 3.0. He has got Thunder staking coming for Vault. So that's going to be pretty awesome. Remember that these are in V3 pools, so they're earning 1%, and they dominate a lot of the pool value. Obviously, you can also go into Titan Farms and get a huge yield on, or pretty good yield on Vault over there. But Vault staking is going to take the LP fees. That's coming out pretty short soon. And so, yeah, that's going to be a nice little addition to getting supply off the market in a more permanent sense. As people say that, you can go in and out. But if you want, it's got a delayed yield. So, 8 days, 28 days, etc. So it does entice people to stay stuck in there longer, but they get paid for it, right? So if they're going to just hold it liquid, you might as well put it in the staking and get paid some LP fees right on the way. Now, what will the ROI be? Could be pretty lucrative. Pretty much $500,000 volume would be $5,000 a day. So that would be the play at the moment. Now we've got a couple of pools operating, so they're going to be giving that. So let's say $250,000, that's $2,500 a day. Now, what the ROI will depend on how many people go to stake, right? And it could be a bit more attractive than even Stephen D thinks. So we'll see how that goes, especially if TitanX ramps up and we go this hyperinflation, hyper value move. Could be pretty exciting. So we've got that. That's coming. That's pretty soon. And then, of course, we've got after that a Bitcoin Genie. Some people don't like the name, but I like the name. I love Bitcoin Genie name. I think that's kind of fun, and obviously on the back of Bitcoin. And he is about to push not only DeFi 3.0, but the TitanX ecosystem into the next round. Now he's already obviously made perpetual auctions popular, but now he's moving into pushing the buy side, the utility side of the TitanX ecosystem. And he's going to have multiple features there, including Bitcoin and Ethereum collateral in the mix as well, which I really like the move there. So stay tuned for that white paper. He says it's going to be glorious, the best ever. We're looking forward to that, and we'll cover that when it comes out. So lots of cool stuff, including more down the roadmap for Vault. So yeah, it's a perfect time, I think, at the moment. Now, if you want to find out more details, get into the Strategy Club. Links in the video description, of course. Only $35 a month, and we pass a lot of intel through there. So join up today, and links in the video description. All right, so that is pretty much it on Vault. And I wasn't even going to be focusing on Vault, but we've got to talk about it because it is doing some pretty cool things. Now, what I want to talk about also is what was I going here? I was going to Omnichain way through. We talked about that. I want to talk about Eric. Eric here is doing a lot of things, not only on TitanX, but also looks like Pulsechain, Omnichain. And of course, he posted this teaser out here on the 9th about Titan Farms. Now, Titan Farms, along with Pulsechain, I would argue, is the two best farms on the planet. And at the moment, we've got the most powerful farms in DeFi, earn real sustainable yield. Now, he's got Pulsechain on here as a mock-up here. So coming to Pulsechain would be very, very cool, especially with Pulsechain being, one of the top volume chains. Makes a lot of sense. And, of course, there's a lot of crossover in the community. So that's pretty cool. And so we could see some pretty interesting things there. Now, we're going to talk about why that's so interesting in a minute. But number two, he's also talked about potentially go to base chain because obviously X28 is going to base chain first, right? So we'll see how that plays out too. So if Pulse is not next, then base is next, Pulse next. But both of them are going to be good moves in my view. But let's jump over to some of the things that he's been posting because I think it's pretty neat. So we're going to scroll back up here on some of his posts. Let's just jump up here. Let's see here. Let's scroll right through. Let's jump up the top here. Now, one of the interesting things is that Eric bought into the TitanX community Crypto Rover. Now, Crypto Rover, as you know, has 1 million followers on X and I think 150,000 YouTube followers or something like that. So that's huge for the community. I think that's going to play a bigger and bigger role moving forward. So keep a lookout for that. Particularly in the Omnichain. I think the Omnichain is going to be very, very particularly bullish. There's a good angle into that, particularly on base chain. Now, let's have a look here. Let's jump into some of these. What Pulsechain altcoins should we support for Titan Farms? So this sort of leads into the Pulsechain there. He says he likes a Tropa, Teddy Bear, PDI, SolidX, DragonX, of course, bridged in. So that's bullish for DragonX. If DragonX wasn't already the golden store of value inside TitanX, it's even more demand for that. And X28 bridged. We need high volume peers, of course, but there are some pretty mega high volume peers over on Pulsechain. Should I make a PDI farm? So an PDI farm on Titan Farms. Obviously, there's a big PDI farm. Obviously, there's the Maker DAO theory. People are very bullish about pegging to $1, tightening the liquidity around $1 and peg PDI. So looking to do it himself is the alpha there from Eric. Pretty crazy. What's the difference between the launch of Hex, PulseX, and Pulse, who also hold TitanX as opposed to another Pulse alt? Not much. TitanX is basically Pulse ethos spilled back into Ethereum. Don't understand tribalism. Farms will fix this. So I love that sort of stuff. Funny, the Pulsechain guys who think they are more loyal to Richard Hart than me because they hold low cap Pulsechain coins. I probably hold more Pulse Hex and Pulse Hex, of course, than I never sold. We know he's a large super holder of those tokens. Pretty cool. Yes, DragonX team can force a peg on PDI if everyone agrees to submit PDI DAI for huge APY. And I definitely think there's a big argument there, big case for that. That is hyper bullish for the PDI people and, of course, for Pulsechain. And yeah, I like where it's going there for TitanX and DragonX holders as well. Eric there. We talked about Stevie DeFi pushing 3.0, but you got to give your hats off to Eric and Jake Sharp. Those three, man, what a threat they are. And I would add in the dude as well. The dude doing some pretty spectacular things. So there are some real big talent. You're pretty much at the frontier of DeFi 3.0 here in the TitanX Pulsechain community. Pretty amazing. Yes, this will bring more eyeballs and volumes to our bridged and natively launched TitanX tokens. Very excited about that. So yeah, BlackRock has entered the room there for sure on the Bitcoin. Maybe we can peg PDI. But the only way to do it will be if people actually value PDI at $1. And that's very important, right? We know that social consensus and supply DAI PDI 1-to-1 on the farm. Proof of dollar, no shortcuts there. So good point, pragmatism there. So liking what I'm saying here. And you guys see crypto over here pumping DragonX, 1 million followers. So heavyweight in the mix there. This is where you really see things ramp up for the altcoin season. Perfect time, right? Perfect time in the chart. So we got the bottom of wave 2. We got a bit of green candles happening. We got hyperdeflation. We got Omnichain. We got all these top tier tokenomics from Stevie DeFi, from Eric, farms and crossover between chains. It is the perfect time to get back in the old TitanX and Pulsechain. Is pretty exciting, right? You need economic incentives for PEG. Titan farms can provide those incentives through careful coding and well-designed tokenomics. This is speculation and DeFi coming together. You need PDI users to bomb PDI with DAI to earn Tink. That Tink there. So very excited about that. Wrap Bitcoin and Wrap BTC are a good one as well. So that's from the Mo. True biggest gains are made by believing in something others write off as a joke. We've got some good stuff coming in here. So very bullish there from Eric. And so, yeah, it is a pretty exciting environment to be in at the moment. Hope you guys enjoyed today's coverage. Let's have a look here. We've got Simple Believer says, doesn't matter how many viewers you have. You just keep going. We should call you the Energizer Superman. Hey, please say that's a Simple Believer. Big shout out. Yeah, we're streaming to over 3 channels at the moment, or streaming to 3 channels, 10,500 subscribers. We get a lot of, watches afterwards as well. So big shout out to all supporters. Deep Pixel says DragonX to the moon. Hey, look, it is phenomenal. Even when TitanX was down the wave 2 on the Elliott, it was DragonX was the ratio was holding strong. It was incredible, and so that really is the gold standard there in the old TitanX ecosystem. And so when it goes back up to wave 3, it's going to be pretty insane gain, especially with everything that's building around it. Pretty exciting, and one of the best founders, of course, in the TitanX community / Pulsechain. DragonX to moon, apparently base chain too soon. And of course, Dragon, not only is Eric doing Titan farms, potentially that Pulsechain based crossover, but he's also doing other projects coming up. He's also doing the crash game there for that firewall. So looking forward to that. It's all coming up. All right, how are we doing? 58 minutes, 1 hour. I think it's a pretty good time to wrap up. What do you guys reckon? I hope you guys enjoy it. Richard Hart is ramping up Pulsechain Pumpamentals. Those posts are very bullish for Pulsechain, especially in this 2025 bull market year. TitanX Omnichain Wave 3. You in at the right time. Man, the chart looks good for it. Obviously, do your own due diligence on financial advice. If you want to jump in for more, we will be doing that. The last thing I was going to say is that we were going to have a launch in the TitanX ecosystem, which is going to be very bullish for the Tink and Tink farms, as well as DragonX, and that was Ascendant. And it's supposed to be in 14 hours time. So that's coming up there. I think that, I'm not sure if that calculator has been updated for the adjustment. I think they have deferred a little bit. Let me just quickly check what the deferment was. Doesn't seem to say on the X here, but I do believe they've been deferred a little bit there for Ascendant. So that's something that we'll be probably launching. We'll keep updated on that. All right, enjoy yourself. Take care. 1 hour in the live stream. Perfect timing. Man, what a great time to get in at the moment on both Pulsechain and TitanX. Looking awesome. Do your due diligence. Catch you next one. See you in Strategy Club, folks. Links in the video description. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Take care, and I will see you guys again on the Mafia show next week on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Bye for now. See you in Discord. Is all I'm going to say. Wrap up. Yeah, let's go.